What's up guys, Michael here. Thank you for tuning into my channel, and that's me on my CBR250RA, and in this episode I'll show you how I cleaned and lubricated my chain. I put my bike on a rear wheel stand at the top of my driveway where the slope is more level, and here are the tools and materials that I used. A 10mm wrench, a plastic hand brush, kerosene, a spray bottle, chain lube, a roll of shop towels, and gloves. I also use these plastic mats and a piece of cardboard. The mats go under the bike to avoid any grime from dripping onto my driveway. The first step is for me to remove the chain guard. It's a flexible piece of ABS plastic bolted onto the swing arm by 4 10mm bolts. I first used a 10mm wrench provided by Honda in the tool pouch. While I was able to remove one bolt, the second one proved to be more difficult. The wrench was bending while I turned it, rounding off the bolt. So instead, I used a real adjustable wrench. Much better. I used the wrench on the other side as well. I noticed that each bolt had a plastic washer. When all the bolts were removed, I proceeded to remove the chain guard. I like working barehanded, but I'm using kerosene, which is known to allow passage of carcinogens through the skin, so I wore these rubber gloves. For easier application, I poured the kerosene into this plastic spray bottle. Sprayed the entire length of the chain while spinning the rear tire. I did this for about a minute. Then I spun the wheels a few times to allow the kerosene to penetrate the chain's nooks and crannies. I bought this plastic hand brush from Dollarama years ago, and it's still good. I use the same brush to clean the chain on my CBR125. So I just scrub the top to dislodge any large particles from the chain. I then scrub both sides as well. Scrubbing the opposite side was a little tight but manageable. Then I sprayed it down with another round of kerosene to rinse out the large particles. Next, I wipe the chain down with these shop towels. Keeping in mind the direction of the spin, the chain must always be moving away from the rear sprocket. That way my towel or hand does not end up in the sprocket. I like to use as much of the towel as possible to reduce waste, so I repositioned the same towel several times, making sure every inch was used. Here's another round of the kerosene rinse. I did a wipe and rinse several times until the chain was clean to my satisfaction. I must have used half a dozen sheets of shop towels, and as you can see, the plastic mats are catching the grime dripping from the chain. Here's a close-up shot of the chain and sprocket after the last wipe down. It used to be dark and dirty, now it's all clean and shiny. The kerosene dissolves and removes chain lubricant. I must allow the kerosene to completely dry before I apply any lubricant, or it will just weaken and dissolve. Hello, I just returned from watching the sci-fi film Lucy, so this chain was completely free of kerosene. I used Honda's chain lubricant as prescribed in the user's manual. But first I have to put this piece of cardboard behind the chain to protect the tire from overspray. This lubricant is very difficult to remove from the tires. According to the directions, I should be applying a thin line of lubricant to the inside part of the chain. However, I sprayed one joint at a time instead to make sure the entire chain was covered. Then I flipped the spray bottle upside down and sprayed until nothing came out to avoid lubricant from hardening and plugging the sprayer. The cardboard backing was removed, and it was time to spin the tire around. I spun it several times in both directions to spread the lubricant around. Then I used a shop towel to wipe off the excess. Honda claims that this lubricant does not fly off, but upon closer inspection I could see the thick and gooey lubricant webbing off the sprocket when I spun it. Maybe I sprayed it on incorrectly. This was a good time to check and adjust my chain's free play. It checked out good. I then dusted off the chain guard using the used shop towels. Then I put the chain guard back in place and reinstalled it. I made sure that each bolt had a washer before bolting it back onto the swing arm. I used my adjustable wrench and tighten them down. I made a final inspection and checked for any lubricant overspray on the tire. It checked out good, so it was good to go. Honda recommends to wait a few minutes for the lubricant to dry before riding. This was the perfect time for me to put my tools away and clean up. Half an hour later, it was good to go. Guys, if you have any tips on chain cleaning, let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching.